Yeah, that's one of my favourites, Willie. I really enjoy that.
You like it's a great. It's Frankie Ford was the one that did it first, the American guy,
Yeah.
way back in the early days.
I don't remember Frankie Vaughan doing that.
Not Frankie Vaughan, Frankie Ford.
Frankie Ford.
Ford, yes.
Right.
No, not Frankie Vaughan. No,
Frankie
not him. No,
Ford. Yes.
not his sort of number.
I remember the name. Yes, goodness me.
Yeah, there's lots of things happened, isn't there? I mean, since we were last here, I mean,
Yeah.
the troops have gone into Kosovo. That's all been sorted itself out. And
Yeah.
the thing that puzzles me about that is that the refugees went back, and then the Serbs people that were living there, a lot of them moved out. Some of them burnt their houses, some didn't.
Yeah.
But the ones that didn't, they went and burnt them out, the Albanians. And I thought to myself, in a way it's crazy, because I know there was a hatred between them. But, I mean, their houses are not even standing.
No.
So why burn down good houses?
They could
have moved in them
Yeah,
houses.
I know exactly
And
what you're saying.
it seems crazy that they did this, you know. I watched it on the news, and I couldn't believe what I was looking
It
at.
horrifies you, doesn't it? People
Yeah.
seem to get caught up with revenge, and it seems to take... revenge seems to take over everything. Sanity and...
Yeah.
I just don't understand why nowadays people can't think rationally.
So does that happen? And then, of course, such...
Yeah,
that
was tragic. And
Well,
of
I was
course-
watching the news. It was about 12 on a Thursday morning, early morning, about 3 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah,
And they said, we've got some late news in. Screaming Lord Chudge has been found dead. And I thought, it can't be, surely. Surely he's not.
no, I couldn't believe
He's
it.
not pulling a stunt of some sort, is he? No. Because we know all the people that were close to him and worked with him and knew him, like myself. We knew what he was for pulling stunts and tricks
Yeah,
to get publicity. And at first, I did really think, you know, that he was as some sort of stunt he was pulling. But I was devastated when I realised it wasn't, you know. And it was only last week I went to his funeral.
yeah.
I went to the funeral, and I was a bit surprised in some ways of seeing so many people dressed up. I know Such may have wanted that, but I don't know whether it was a good idea not to all dress up in top hats and
No,
everything.
it was like everybody was there on their own ego trip at someone else's
Yeah,
funeral.
yeah,
I
I mean,
saw like the coverage on
I
TV.
mean, I know that Such would have wanted people not to have been upset about it all, you know.
Yeah,
Because we had a wake afterwards, you know. Different ones got up to sing. There was quite a few named people there, you know. Bruce Walsh from the Shadows, Cliff Bennett from the Rebel Rousers, Ricky Valance was there, Tommy Bruce, myself, and Chas McDevitt. Quite a few people were at the funeral, you know.
Yeah.
Billy Davis, and there was a girl called Jean Vincent.
really.
Yeah, spelt with a J, and she was there, and she does a lot of Gene Vincent stuff, obviously, you know. Quite a good little singer, yeah. And because that was all over, I came back from that, and then I went down. Believe it, I went down to Southampton on this Thursday,
That's right.
to do a
That was
charity,
Heinz, wasn't it?
charity for Heinz, because he's got multiple neurons disease. I think David Nevin had the same thing, and I felt sorry for him. You know, he's in a chair now, and he's can't keep his arms still and hands, you know, and he's sort of, when he's talking to you, you know, he's talking to you, but he's not getting out as he wants to get it out. You know, it's sad. Of course, there was that, and then I think Ian Jury's very sick as well.
Is he?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's in a bad way. I would like to. I believe they've got a charity on or something at Guildford, I think, for him. I'd love to take part in it, because he did mention me in a number, in a song that he had a hit with, Reasons to Be Cheerful. And believe it or not, in tribute to Ian, I've got a book that's being sorted out for me. It's been a guy called Roger Arthur from Birmingham.
Really?
He's been writing a book for about 3 or 4 years on my biography, you know. And we decided to call the book The Life and Times of Willie Harris, Reasons to be Cheerful. We're actually calling it Reasons to be Cheerful in respect to Ian, as he mentioned me in the song, you know. So I hope he's going to be all right, but it looks like he's in a bad way, and so is Hines. So terrible. Is Frankie Vaughan okay now?
I haven't heard any more on Frankie since he went into hospital.
No,
but I know where he lives. He lives up the top of High Wycombe.
Yeah. The last time I worked, I suppose, not with Frankie, but he followed me in. I was working at the Mandarin Hotel in Hong Kong, and the guy that was coming on the following month was Frankie.
Yeah.
And I met him the first couple of nights because we didn't leave for about 2 or 3 days after he'd started, you know, so went to see the show. And after that, the time after that I saw him was when they had the anniversary of the Variety Club, 20 years or 40 years anniversary, and we actually did a bit of cabaret there for him.
Really?
And yeah, I spoke to Frankie then.
I think it's a great shame that they don't show Frankie's films that he came out with in the 50s.
I know,
and 60s.
yeah.
He was a fair actor. I would have to say that he was a fair actor, and the renditionings that he did on screen were well worth watching. I think it's a great shame.
Didn't he work with Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, he did a film with Marilyn Monroe.
That's right. Yeah.
Because
there was all talk afterwards, you know, about I mean, that talk is talk. Forget it.
I know. And then there was that rock and roll film that he did, the Dingle, was it something or other?
I haven't seen that one.
The Dingle Boys.
Well, if it was, I haven't seen it.
It was around the period of one of the rock and roll films that came out. And I went to see it when I was a lad. And there was Frankie Vaughan in a teddy boy outfit and all this gear.
Well, but, in those days they were doing lots of rock and roll films, you know. And unfortunately, I spent most of my after about 1960, 61, I spent the next 2 or 3 years really travelling around the world. So I missed out on anything like that was going on. I spent 9 months in Italy. I spent 3 months in Israel.
I know that the Marilyn Monroe film was made in Italy. Well, you should have been an extra.
No, the only person I saw in Italy when I was in Rome was the producer or the director of Espresso Bongo.
Oh, yes.
And I do have, believe it or not, I have a photograph of the two of us sitting at a table in a restaurant talking. And that's a long, long while back.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, time
Cliff Richard,
flies.
of course. Anyway, we'll put some more music of yours on, Willie. And one of my favourites, Rocking at Willie I.
I make myself some tea, I rush into the bedroom, put on my old blue jeans, back down the stairs, I say goodbye to Mum. She looks at me and said, where